اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. And tonight, inshallah, we'll be traveling to the land of Kufa. As we know the story very well, I'm sure Shaykh will share with us, inshallah, in his musibah. The story of Muslim is one where thousands of people, tens of thousands of people wrote letters toward Imam Hussein alayhi salam, promising him that if he were to come to Kufa, they would take up arms and support his mission to defeat the tyranny of Yazid. So Imam Hussein alayhi salam sent his cousin Muslim ibn Aqil, this great person, to Karbala to gather his support before he arrives. Because of course, as we know, Imam Hussein's destination was not Karbala originally, but Kufa. It was only until he heard the betrayal of Kufa that he turned toward where he ended up, which was Karbala. And Muslim, when he got there, he saw around 1,800 people, Sheikh Ja'far just told me, there to support him, if not more, promising their swords to him, promising that they will come with him and rise up against the tyrant of Yazid. They came together in Salah. They wanted to overthrow Ibn Ziyad, I believe. They came together in Salah. Muslim said Allahu Akbar, began his Salah with 1,800 approximately behind him. When Muslim finished his prayer, he did his 3 takbirs, he turned around and he saw not a single soul was left behind him. I want to focus on this point. You are the son of a city, the son of Medina, the son of Hijaz at that time, around the area. And you are in a strange land, the land of Iraq, in a strange city, with strange people. And you are not only all alone, but no one wants to be associated with you. Think about that level of loneliness. I'm sure all of us here, me included, have faced moments of loneliness in our life. This is a level of loneliness that no one can comprehend. I often think about how after that he would wander the streets aimlessly and not see any friends with him, no one to support him whatsoever, not knowing where to go, where to sleep, where to eat, and also wondering how he's going to continue to support his cousin Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So I want to focus specifically on this point of loneliness. So again, as with every night, I want you to close your eyes and bow your heads. Close your eyes, bow your heads, come with me to the land of Kufa, where Muslim knew not of loneliness, more so than when his head turned and he sees the thousands of men gone. This is the true meaning of alone. Muslim knew not of loneliness, more so than when his head turned and he sees the thousands of men all gone. This is the true meaning of alone. I am Muslim, he says. I am Muslim. I am from the house that revelation would visit. How much we are known in the heavens, and yet the people still forget. I am Muslim. I am from the house that revelation would visit. How much we are known in the heavens, and yet the people still forget. I came here, promised supporters, who to my king's rule would submit. They promised Hussein a throne when he would have settled for a pulpit. They promised Hussein a throne when he would have settled for a pulpit. They promised to stand side by side. They broke their word or else they lied. What kind of men break promises? Are words really as cheap as this? What kind of men break promises? Are words really as cheap as this? As a man who sticks to his word, I feel all alone in this world. As a man like Bani Hashim were, they valued their word. As a man who sticks to his word, I feel all alone in this world. They told us come, and we obliged, and now our lives are endangered. Had we not have fear of our great Lord, had we not fear of our great Lord, these people we would have ignored, but we have a duty toward them, that we assist whenever we are called. Such is the way of all nobles. Their beliefs to most are mere fables, but we remain we don't retreat, because we, Bani Hashim, don't know of defeat. When Muslims' hands first cupped his ears, behind his back had stood thousands. When Muslims' hands had first cupped his ears, behind his back had stood thousands. Not a single soul had remained by the time his head turned around. Not a single soul had remained by the time his head had turned around. What had begun with Takbir Allahu Akbar had ended with not a single sound. The heartbreak of this Hashimi, when all alone himself he found. The heartbreak of this Hashimi, when all alone himself he found. Imagine walking out that day. When men saw him, they would look away. Imagine walking out that day all alone. When men saw him, they would look away. He would wander from street to street, his only friend, his own heartbeat. Imagine walking through those streets, a timeless day that has no end, a strange city, a strange country, and no supporter, with not a friend. Any smiles, they were hiding swords. Any smiles, they were hiding swords, meaning that those smiles were pretend. If he had collapsed upon the road, not a hand to him, not a soul to him would extend their hand. He yearned the sweet taste of battle. He yearned the sweet taste of battle. For at least that was bearable, because the sweet pain of shattered bone did not hurt much like being alone. He sat alone at a doorstep. On the earth no one was lonelier. What a feeling when a salam is worth more to you than water. He sat alone on a doorstep, and not a single person on earth was lonelier. What a feeling when a mere salam is worth more to you than water. What a feeling when a mere salam is worth more to you than water. The door opens and it's taw'ah. The door opens and it's taw'ah, the warm embrace of a mother. He says, "Oh woman, will you help me? Because in this land none is stranger. What distress must he have been in? What distress must he have been in that he must just plead for a friend? What distress must he have been in that he must plead and beg for a friend?" Taw'ah. A woman without a male's strength was worth more than all of Kufa's men. Taw'ah, a woman without a male's strength was worth more than all of Kufa's men. She protects him and she feeds him, giving him time to contemplate. She protects him and she feeds him, giving him time to contemplate. He tells himself, martyrdom is sweeter than this stranger's weight. Taw'ah's son sells out his presence. Taw'ah's son sells out his presence. And outside, thousands of men wait. Muslim draws his sword. Muslim draws his sword. And alone, he prepares to embrace his fate. He exits the house like a lion. He exits the house like a lion. No one man can compete with him. They attack, but he drives them back with just a sword and a straight back, but they capture him. And he's bleeding, but internally he's in more pain. They capture him, and he's bleeding, but internally he's in more pain. What a betrayal when all truth in the heart of just one man remains. They rest the sword upon his neck. They rest the sword upon his neck, and before the soldier is slain, he turns his head toward Karbala and he sends his salam upon Hussein. He turns his head toward Karbala and he sends his salam upon Hussein. Because if there is anyone that is more lonely, then surely it is the son of Ali. And he will die alone with no one else by him, as the swords would tear him from limb. He will die alone with no one by him, as the swords tear him from limb. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah wa al arwah allati halat bi fina'ik, alayka minni salam Allah. أبدا ما بقيت بقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. افلح من صلي على محمد وآل محمد.